Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving,
I don't wanna take advice from fools.
You always won every time you placed a bet.
Money, that's what I want.
Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com, wanted to comment on that ESPN article, a very good one, a must-read on Haralabos Voulgaris, or as they like to call him, Bob Voulgaris, which is a lot easier, especially since when I did a video about Billy Walters, apparently my old Philadelphia accent, you can take the boy out of the Delaware Valley, you can't take the Delaware Valley out of the boy, and a lot of people thought I was skipping the L, thought I was saying Billy Waters or something like that, so maybe Haralabos Voulgaris, will also call him Bob, but some really interesting points were brought up by Voulgaris, and he uses a lot of the angles that we've used, not only in the NBA, and some of the other sports. The Ewing theory, now what this is basically, it's named after Patrick Ewing, in which a team, when they lose their overrated superstar, and we agree that Patrick Ewing is one, that you start to play on that team becomes better, especially as far as their value is concerned. We've dominated that with football, especially the NFL, and we'll take it a step further, more so to the team that he's going to, they all of a sudden become much more overrated. And guys that we've exploited this theory with, we really, if we were going to assign a name to it, it would be Jeff George, where we started to pound on that, where Jeff George, where each time he was traded, went to a new team, that team became worse, and the team that he left did become better. Of course, there's a point of diminishing return, especially the team that he's losing. In reality, the team that he's going to, fading them is a lot stronger, and that is the better part of the Ewing theory, in our humble opinion. But guys like Jake Plummer, Jay Cutler, Jeff George, as we said, quite a few quarterbacks over the years that has really applied to. But we're also going to take that a step further. Remember, quarterbacks like that have enormous talent but are clearly overrated become, as we like to say, the predictably unpredictable, the box of chocolates. We like to actually bet on those teams when they're playing poorly and as an underdog, but we like to bet against them when they're playing well, especially if they're instilled as a favorite. So the Ewing theory not only applies to the NBA, but to so many sports. Quantitative revolution, and in short, the best statistics out there, we have found out without question, measure efficiency, as opposed to those extremely overrated and deceptive rankings, where people think that if a team averages the most points scoring in the NBA, for example, since this article, and Voulgaris is a specialist in the NBA, is where he does the best. That's a sport that my understanding is about 95% of his bets are in the NBA, or where he is most feared. But the quantitative theory efficiency statistics are so much better than those overrated points for and points against, especially when it comes to rankings, because as we've said, you got to take into consideration pace. When you're handicapping a good offense and a good defense, it is the over-unders are a lot more about pace than they are offensive or defensive quality. And the efficiency statistics are now available to the public. You don't have to go pay a programmer $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to work with you. For example, some of the sites we use, KenPom.com in college basketball, also BB State, another site with some great college basketball statistics. John Hollinger essentially does the same thing in the NBA, and he's on ESPN. Great offensive and defensive efficiency statistics. Football Outsiders, college and pro football. They are the best at statistically isolating which teams are the most overrated, which are the most underrated. And these are where you, the regular Joey Bag of Donuts, you don't have to invest as much money as you would have had to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but you do have to invest time, and most importantly, you need to know how to use these efficiency statistics. We've also long used Fox Sheets, where they have the yards per rush, yards per catch, yards per carry. Obviously, we're talking about college and pro football, most importantly, relative to the cumulative average of what their opponent normally allows or normally gets. Great for efficiency statistics. Bracket science and college basketball, they come out with some real good stuff before the NCAA tournament. Now, Voulgaris in the article admits that 2013 has been, quote-unquote, a rough year for him. Why do I believe that it has been? No, I don't have access to his direct bets. But remember one of our more recent videos, we talked about returning back to basics, that we've had stronger years in the past. We went through, did a complete analysis of just that, our analysis, and our records, when we were better, when we were worse, and we found out that when we stuck to the good old-fashioned techniques is when we were at our absolute best. And in the NBA, scheduling dynamics, if I had to single out one thing that still leads to winners more than anything else, it's about scheduling dynamics. But it's corroborated by things such as these quantitative analysis, the efficiency statistics, and also the Pinnacle Lean has had a very good year in the NBA and college basketball. We'll elaborate a little bit more on the Pinnacle Lean on a future report. So remember, always get back to those basics when it comes to handicapping. But yes, the Voulgaris, the Bob Voulgaris article was very good. You can learn a lot from it, but most importantly, the thing that really jumped out at me was when Voulgaris admitted that maybe his techniques aren't working quite as well now as they have been in the past, which is no irony that we did the same thing and we went back and realized that a lot of this technological stuff is best when used as corroboration. Nothing replaces good old-fashioned techniques. And here on YouTube, or if you're listening to it on our simulcast on iTunes or TalkShoe or what have you, we wrote an article, we did a podcast, did a video on getting back to basics. Strongly recommend that you either listen to that podcast, read the article, watch the videos, all the above, all the above. Now, you want winning picks each and every day from the best handicapper in the business, and we cover every angle, including a lot of the stuff that Voulgaris has talked about. And Voulgaris, you know, he has the same influence in the NBA as, say, that a Steve Fezzik does in the NFL, Billy Waters does in college football, Edwin Golden, the guy, the right angle sports guy, very good in college basketball, and they also have an influence in college football as well. So Voulgaris is a guy we definitely want to listen to. Alan Boston, another guy, college basketball. We love hearing from the pro gamblers. They have a lot of theories and techniques that overlap with what we do. Quite frankly, I think I've refined a lot of those techniques, and I know the strengths and weaknesses of each one of those techniques at God's Tips, which is the anchor of offshoreinsiders.com. www.offshoreinsiders.com.